The Prince of London is back. What's popping corn? Now today it's going to be something special. This week is going to be something special. I did have something planned, but didn't. Well, plans don't go through. I might just, not do live anymore. I've been doing it live on Periscope, but I might not do that anymore. There's no point. I'm gonna go into that next week, or actually maybe a bonus for a bonus one. Not sure yet, but this morning, I got my tickets to see the Avengers Endgame. I'm gonna do a review on that, and I want to. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Alright. Okay. I want to start off by saying one big problem, one major. There's going to be no spoilers, don't worry, no spoilers. But I want to start off with one major problem that I have with Marvel. And Marvel is my favourite, absolutely love Marvel. But there's one big problem that I have. The problem is, it's basically Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel is great, in the I don't want to say too much. I'm trying to find a way to say this without spoiling too much, but she does her part in she's great in the movie. She's absolutely in the movie. She is portrayed very well, and yet it's not a thing where it's another Captain Marvel kind of movie. So it still gives that props to the Avengers, and like to the rest of the Avengers. And just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So it still gives the props to the Avengers. They don't. I'm trying to say this without spoiling the movie too much, but they don't. They don't make Captain Marvel the top person in a sense. She doesn't overrun the whole movie, where it's like, wow, this is just another Captain Marvel movie then, or like a kind of thing where it's it's Captain Marvel, and then the Avengers. You know, it's an Avengers. It's still an Avengers movie. It's still absolutely amazing. It still every single Avengers movie has been awesome. It still keeps up to pace with them, and maybe better. And the things that they do in there, you will not want to miss it. Yeah, it's long hours. It is long hours. It's I think about 3 hours or so, but absolutely worth it. Keeps you entertained throughout the whole movie. Absolutely hilarious. It's definitely one of my favorites out of all time. Out of every single movie, most definitely one of my tops. The major problem that I have with it, however, is Captain Marvel though. Although Captain Marvel was amazing in the film itself, it's the concept behind it. Now, without spoiling, I'm gonna spoil Captain Marvel, the movie of Captain Marvel. Now, when watching Captain Marvel, I disliked it. I did not like Captain Marvel at all because it was lazy, to be honest. It was a lazy film. Now this is the problem I have with art, with movies and anything in general that tries to empower groups. Now I respect that a lot, we do need to empower groups. That is something we need. So we need to empower the minorities, or people that has that don't have the opportunities to express themselves, or they don't really have the opportunities to be shown and to be visible and to be heard. So it's awesome that we're now doing that, and there's so many things out there, so many entertainment and just art in general that empowers the people that can't be heard to be the voice of the voiceless. But the problem with that is, I felt watching Captain Marvel, it was only to empower females. And I don't have a problem with that, with empowering females. The problem comes with when that is your storyline. That is your storyline. Your storyline is to empower females, and that's it. It was basically, there was no story behind it. There was no, Captain Marvel was meant to be the one that saves the Avengers, that saves them. So we're meant to be interested in her. Her story is meant to be so great. Her powers are meant to be absolutely amazing. She's meant to be the wisest person. If she's going to save them, she has to do something that none of the other Avengers can do. And the movie was absolutely lazy. Did not show it. Actually made her seem like the worst superhero in the Avengers. As a movie itself, it wasn't too bad, but an Avengers movie, it was terrible, because it was literally, she's got powers, she gets pushed down a lot, and she's a female. That was about it. That was it. She's like she was kept down a lot of the times, and that, you know, she has powers, and that's it. And now, you could do so much with that, you know, there's so much you can do with that. There's, like, you could make a story with, like, you could make a story with it. You could, I've made a few notes here. Now, the note was basically me just saying how Captain Marvel was, the movie about Captain Marvel was absolutely lazy. Now, and I made a note where Black Widow she's a female, but she's one of the, like, she is absolutely amazing, and she's one of the, you know, she's part of the Avengers. Like, whenever you think of the Avengers, she is part of it. You don't just think about the guys, she is part of it. You know, there's not much we know about her in a sense. There's, you know, I don't believe there's a movie about her, but I could be wrong. But the lack of, like, for me, I haven't seen the movie, if there is. So the lack of information I knew about her made me want to know more about her. So sometimes you can do, it's the same with Nick Fury. There was a big problem where on the Captain Marvel, I'm not going to say what it was, but it made him look so bad. So, like, when you see on, like, all the Avengers film, you see him as, like, such an amazing character and such, like, strong character. But then in Captain Marvel, it just made him look so weak, and it was just lazy writing. And it was a way to make Captain Marvel look strong, so then she could be, like, the strongest Avenger to save them all, but it just made her look weak. And with the males, yeah, I do understand the opportunities that people have, the opportunities that males have more opportunities to, to be heard and seen. So I do understand we need to give, to empower females. It's needed to be done. But you don't just look at a male and then think, like, let's say, for example, Spider-Man. He's not one of the best superheroes. He's not, like, people don't love him because he's a male. It's because of the story behind him. It's the storyline. So I believe with Captain Marvel, we need to have a good storyline, something we could actually believe in and be like, yeah, she is the superhero to save all. But they didn't do that, and that was one thing that just really bugged me. It's an example would be if you want to be absolutely, like, if you want to stick with in art, if you want to stick with just a message of empowering a group, then it has to be factual, as in it has to be a documentary or, based on a true story. It can't be, where if it's a creative thing, it's going to be boring. It's just lazy writing if that is all you're basing it on. But if you do something like American X, an example, where it's a what-if scenario, or you're playing around with this, there's no agenda to it. There's just just a way people can be informed about, inform people, and I hope this is coming out right, and you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. I just felt that Captain Marvel, the movie, was very lazy to do, in the sense of just to, like, I haven't seen Wonder Woman, but that was because I was afraid it was just going to be a story of empowering females and not a story. Now, I can get behind a story and I could get behind empowering, a group of people. But if it's just one of them, if it's just to empower, it's lazy writing. Now, they did do something in the Avengers, in this new movie, Avengers Endgame. They did do something that was to empower females, and I felt that was absolutely brilliant what they did. It was awesome. This is what they should have done. And I felt with Captain Marvel, they shouldn't have don't do the movie if you can't do the movie right. And I felt that they did it very quickly just to kind of show what she is, but they still didn't show much. They didn't make her seem like she was the one to save all superheroes. They just made her look like she was a superhero, and that's it. Like, there's a reason why the Green Lantern was a failure. He's a guy, but it's a failure because the story was bad. Now, we should give more opportunities. There should be more, female superheroes. I feel in real life, most superheroes are females. But there's got to be a story behind it, a good story, a story that makes us interested in them. And so that's, I'm going to leave it as that. I also don't want to spoil too much, but this movie, it's not disappointing at all. It's absolutely brilliant. There's so much that you could there's so much in the movie itself, and I feel that Avengers is made by the fans. It's made by fans. Like, it's not made by people who just want to make money. I feel like the Russo brothers, they're not out to make money. They're making a lot of money because they don't want to make money. They're doing it for the love and for, they're doing it for the love of comics and the love for the cinematic viewer points in the comics. And that is what love is, everything. Because if you put the love behind something, it would make it so much better. It's the reason why many artists such as Eminem, for example, so popular, because he's not doing it for the money. Yeah, he needs the money. Of course, everyone needs money. But most things in life, like most people in life, are popular because they're doing it for the love of it, and you can see that authenticity behind it, and people are going to support it because of the love in it. Now, the Avengers, it's a movie where they're not afraid to do things that seems like it, wouldn't be good for a movie, or it seems like it's not, sticking with the comics. Because the one thing about the comics and the superheroes is they're fun. Comics and superheroes are mostly for kids. So it's meant to be entertaining. It's meant to be funny. You're meant to laugh at it. You're meant to, have a good time. But a lot of the cinematic, and I'm going to go to DC loves to make it unfun. Shazam, I watched that, and that was absolutely fun. They took a note from the Avengers and all of the Marvel films, and created their own, their own kind of movie, and it did so well because it wasn't afraid to make fun and make light of themselves, and to make fun of just in general, just to have fun and to have a laugh. People don't go to watch superhero movies to, they don't go to the cinema and then go to watch a superhero movie because they want to, be depressed, or they want to, they want to just watch a movie in general. They watch it because they want to have fun. They want to be like a kid again. And the Marvel isn't afraid to do that. And that's the one thing. DC, Batman vs Superman. I was so anticipating to watch that. It was one of the films that I've always wanted to watch. And they finally created it. Just that alone, just the name itself is an amazing movie. And they somehow found a way to mess it up. They messed it up by not having fun with it. By making it too serious and too bland. And to have no story behind it. And to not be creative. And then when it comes to the end, it was a stupid fight, and it was a dumb. Everything about it was just dumb, and it affected me in all aspects because and I don't know how, but this movie somehow just affected me in a way of it made me not want to it made me lose anticipation in anything. So if anything perfect is to happen, until it happens, I wouldn't anticipate it because of watching Batman vs Superman. But this movie right here, Avengers Endgame, solved that, because Avengers Endgame did such a perfect job that that you guys got to watch it. Everyone's got to watch this movie. This movie is one of the best movies made. Maybe even the best movie of this year. Maybe even the best movie that they've created. They have done things that no other superhero movie has done. And they did it so perfectly as well. I don't want to put too much spoilers into it, but they did so well with it that everyone's got to watch it. What other notes have I put down here? I guess that's all the notes I've done. Yeah, but I'll definitely give it a 10 out of 10. Definitely. Absolutely. This is the movie to watch. And the way they did it, it was... The start of the movie was... It was different. It was... I don't know. I'm trying to not spoil it. The previews of Avengers, they are kind of like the movie itself, but the previews of the Avengers was just a way of kind of having fun with the movie in a sense. It was to not give much away, but then also I can't really explain it. It was the previews might be bad, but the movie itself, it's really worth it. You can see how the previews go in, and the previews is it's like just the start of the movie. It's not. I don't. The previews are it's just the start of the movie, but it gets better and better and then better and better and better. It just keeps on getting better. Yep, it's about 3 hours long. It's long but entertaining, and it keeps you in your seat wanting to watch more. It's it's although it's long, it's not, it's bearable. It doesn't seem long, and it's long, but there's like so many sections in it that it's not. It feels like you're watching like a bunch of movies, all in one, but it's very entertaining. In my cinema, nobody applauds. When I went to watch Straight Out of Compton, everyone, like, in my cinema, nobody applauds. Like, they tend to not do that because it's like kind of I don't know, it's just more of a cinema where you go in, you watch something, and then you go out. And especially that I watch it in the morning, like when nobody's really there. But Straight Out of Compton, everyone applauded for that, even myself. But yeah, nobody applauds for the like for this one. I don't think it's not because of like because they didn't want to. I don't know. It's just more of the ending wasn't really something to applaud to. It was a brilliant ending, and everything was awesome. But I don't know. It's just because it wasn't. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, like nobody applauds to it, and there's one thing about the movie that I want to warn you guys, but by warning you guys on this one thing, it might be a big spoiler. If I can't say if the heroes come back or not, but I can't say if the ones who like went in dust goes if they come back or not, but they the original Avengers are there. All of the original Avengers are there. They go to Thanos is back as well. Captain Marvel meets up with all of them. It's just alone. It's the original Avengers are hilarious. There's so many emotions that you can get from watching an Avengers movie. It's so amazing. Any new heroes? Not that I know of. Well, you got to bear in mind that half of the population is gone, so there wouldn't really be any new heroes. It's just the original Avengers, going back to square one, to the first ever Avengers. Which, they did one thing, which might, depending on how you look at this one thing that they did. No, so I saw this in London because I live in London. But they did show this one thing in the movie, and depending on how you look at the movie itself, it, like, on the situation, it could either be a thing of like a disappointing thing, or if you look at it on a positive side, it could show respect in a sense. And they made sense of time travel, like, so obviously from it's the Endgame, and like everyone knows that they it's kind of a known thing that them going back in time and all that. I'm not going to say why they go back in time, or if they go back, or if they go in the future, they, but it's a known thing, but they make sense of it, and something that Bruce says, I don't know, he said something extremely smart about it, and the movie bases around what he said, and it just makes you think about time travel in such a different sense, and just makes you think, oh yeah, why do I think about time traveling being like this when this would make no sense at all? Just gonna have a drink. Yeah, if you want to sponsor me, cola, you could. I would like some money. Tickets are sold out. Try another cinema. Try like over here where the cinema that I go to, it's not sold out. You just walk in. But I think that's it for now. I will talk to you next time. Remember, I am always here for everyone, no matter who you are. At the moment, there's been 72 views. However, that's been over the course of 1 hour, which is not good, but what can I do about it? Still working on it. However, right now I'm gonna go. So it's been the Prince of London. So stay safe, stay awesome,